The important thing is that we're tapping into the clearest signal that we can of this, the cleanest signal of it that we can. The records are now open. Field access is now granted. What do you see?
I'm in this room and it's a sphere, and I am surrounded by a galactic council, and there's like this huge table in the center, and I'm standing at it, and everybody's looking at me and they're here to witness, and they're here to guide and answer as well. But it has a very serious tone. Like it feels like this is a scheduled meeting. Feels like
We're
it's
having a conference call with
yeah, like it feels like they were like waiting there for me to come up, and now I'm here at this table, and I'm not really certain what the first order of business is, but there does seem to be a being standing next to me as though they are like the mediator or guide in this process. They're telling me that I've come here to see something, that they've come here, I'm here to be shown something. In the witness of all of these different beings that are around. These are different beings from different star systems, different races of beings that have been connected to me, and they're connected with what's going on here on Earth. They're connected to everything. They're all the beings within the galactic
population.
Yeah, that are here that have been invested in what's happening here on Earth, that all of them are here to witness these changes. They've been in part facilitating and planning and guiding humanity, many different types of beings, more than I'm just like, wow, I didn't even realize there were so many. There's a lot. There's many different ones that I'm just like, I didn't even know that there were such a variety of beings.
Families.
Yeah.
We call it families. So I guess we just greet them and say we're here to hear out or listen to whatever that needs to be transmitted for us.
Okay, hang on a moment. I'm sort of asking, like, where's our planet at? Where are we collectively? Like, what is the collective energy? Where are we at? They're showing me the planet, and I'm seeing the collective consciousness of the field of what's happening around the planet. I feel in a way that collectively the sense of like everybody being on edge, not edge in the edge of fear, but in the edge of the unknown. Like
anticipation. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like everyone's has a sense we're pursed and ready for anything. Going to be sickness? Is it going to be war? Is it going to be a financial collapse? Is it going to be? But the thing is I don't know if I'm feeling it so much as everybody is in a deep fear about it. It's like they're more in a more awoken awareness that something is on the horizon. There's been enough information given and enough sense of like the world events that everyone is like, something's bound to happen. We're on the precipice of something major happening. There's sort of a collective sense that it's going to be not pleasant. Something's about to happen. But I also get this like this air of we have been conditioned or groomed for it. So it's sort of like, oh, we've been through this, we've been through that. We're getting conditioned for the trauma. But there's a collective awareness that something is going to happen that is not going to be easy or pleasant. But what it is exactly is that state that I'm saying I'm feeling in the collective, like we're not certain. It's almost like there's so many different things coming in from so many different angles. It could be this, that, or the other, or a combination of things. We are on the precipice of something major on a global scale to impact all of us. And it just feels like all of us are just like on the edge, just waiting for this thing to happen. And it feels
holding our breath.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like we're holding our breath. It feels like the time is limited. It feels like every day is almost like a shock that we've gone through a day and something hasn't like hit the whole world, you know? They say that they are pleased that the planet, as much as that sounds like a negative thing, they're explaining that they're pleased that at least there is an awareness of impending doom. There was before a collective ignorance where people were just like, la da da, like whatever, life is happening. I don't care what's happening around me or outside of what I can see in my everyday life. There seems to be more of an expanded global awareness of how it's more of like a hive mindset. Like we are more collectively aware of the rest of the planet now than we ever have been. We are more collectively aware of like, seeing ourselves as a whole planet or a whole almost like a whole being,
Like an
all
organism.
humanity.
Yeah, yes, yes.
And they're saying that this is a positive thing, that we see it, even though collectively humanity is feeling this sense of like doom and gloom in the fear. But they're also saying it's also not like entirely crippling either. And I don't know why they keep pointing that out.
I get the sense that because to bring about change, sometimes you need to introduce crisis. Crisis doesn't always mean something bad, even though in the middle of it or in the center of it, you feel like everything's falling apart or things are becoming destructive. So I feel like it's the change that's happening, whether we perceive it or not, that we need.
Great way of putting it. They're saying that this is an example of the evolution of our collective consciousness, and even though it's being expressed in a maybe not outwardly super positive, bright way, it is a step forward that we have an awareness collectively of each other and an awareness of the impact of the whole planet, that this isn't just happening to me in my hometown, this is happening to everybody. And there just seems to be a recognition of the things that could potentially happen would be of a global impact. Like we're at that point now, that there are things that are potential realities that will affect the entire planet. And this was something that wasn't in our awareness not even a generation ago. This wasn't like a possibility in our minds, and now it is. And so this is part of the progress. But let's see, do you have any specific questions that I can ask?
See, and the thing is, when you asked about the stage of the planet, that was actually one of my first questions, was somewhere to the effect of what stage is the planet in relation to the separation between the new Earth and the old Earth. I kind of feel like you answered that, or
No,
maybe
but that's a great, let me get into that because I feel something when you said that. I'm asking about the transition of the planet. Yes, 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 yes. There's steps of awareness that need to happen. And we have moved out of the separate consciousness, and we've tipped the scale more into collective consciousness, collective awareness. And then I see that there's several steps further is when we are empowered by that collective awareness. When the awareness of having awareness and the power of awareness, if we all focus the same awareness, is like the next level. First, it's just like, let's just have awareness that we're all connected and we're all being affected. Further down the line is an awareness that if we all focus together, or if we all set the same intention together, then that is when the miracles and the shifts can happen collectively for the planet. So this is phase one of the shift. And then later on, but the collective awareness is so vitally important too, because it's going to transform. It's going to change the fabric of this reality. When we are intentionally all choosing that we want positivity, we want peace, we want medicine, healing, better education, more abundance per person, to live more in harmony with the planet. I'm seeing just like literally like this utopian peaceful society, and that like piece by piece, we're all sort of collectively choosing that we don't want to argue. We don't want conflict. We don't want to compete. We don't want judgment. We don't want aggressive tug of wars about who's right, who's wrong, whose lifestyle is correct. Like that sense that we've had of the push and pull between like my ideal reality and your ideal reality, and how we all need, sort of in the dogma, like the old dogmas that we all had about, well, these are the rules and this is the box and your box isn't like my box. Like we've all been in that. And there comes when we start realizing that we're all being collectively affected by things, by, let's just say, if it was war or disease or financial collapse, it doesn't matter what you believe or what your lifestyle is, we're all being affected in the exact same way. We eventually melt away this idea of like, it doesn't matter what we are. That becomes almost a minor. What's major is this idea that we're all healthy and that we're all strong and we're all happy and we're all taken care of. And so this mindset starts changing, our focus starts changing, and then collectively we start desiring this. And then all of a sudden I see this future. My God, it's amazing. It is so beautiful. It's collectively embracing of everybody's unique culture and way of expressing their devotion, their devotion to the light, whether it's through prayer, whether it's through art and music, ritual, and it's all accepted and embraced. And we admire, instead of looking at each other like, oh, this is wrong or right, and judging. I see this admiration of like, what a beautiful way to show your devotion. It's completely different than mine, but I'm mystified by it. I love it. It's beautiful. It's like this appreciation that we come into with everybody, and like their different cultures and their different ways of doing things, and their artistry. There's no need for these tribes to change, to be Christians, to be Muslims. There's none of that. It's like wow, I love how you express your devotion. Wow, I love how you express your devotion. And it's all accepted and it's all open. And I see this whole planet exploding, and it's like a quilt work tapestry. It looks like geometry. And within the geometry is like the different designs of all the different cultures, like Judaism, Muslim, Christian, indigenous, shamanic, galactic. It's all relevant and it's all beautiful and it's all embraced and it's all collectively appreciated. We honor each other in our differences. And that's the attitude that's going to change. So it's not that we're going to go into this like one world religion or one world belief system, or we're all going to get desaturated.
We're not all going to be in this unified,
No, it's unified, but not unified. It's unified, but but while honoring and embracing everybody's cultural differences.
Yeah, so it's like a unified diversity. I'll say that.
Unified diversity.
They sound contradictory, but it's being able to accept all the differences, but in a unified way of respect, I think.
It looks like a beautiful quilt to me. Like when you look at a quilt and it's like all the fabrics are different colors and different patterns, and it makes this beautiful just tapestry, this beautiful quilt. That's what the whole planet will look like. And it's like geometry, because it's this very high, pure expression of everybody's individual devotional expression. And I'm speaking of their spiritual expression, whether it's like their communion with the earth or with the stars or with their gods. It's all beautiful. We appreciate. That's what I feel. It's like a respectful appreciation rather than a casting of judgment. The ugliness that is interlaced, like all of that gets somehow dissolved out of the field. It's not part of it anymore. We don't judge each other. We don't try to control each other. We don't try to oppress each other. But this is where ultimately this will be leading to at some point in our future. I kind of see this as like a little bit of a far future, this version that I'm seeing. If you and I are still existent in this time that I'm seeing, we will be very old, or it will have like come to fruition after we've passed from the earth, but not long after. It will be like the next generation beyond us, our children and our grandchildren. But I feel like almost within the reach of my own knowing, it would be my grandchildren, my children, or when we're very, very, very old.
It's a future generational thread, I guess.
Yeah, like that, this thing that I just saw, it feels like this is when it's like matured.
The ultimate.
Right now we're in the blossoming, but when it's like fully been realized, it will be like we will be very old, and then the generations after will get to have it.
Interesting. So what happens? I mean, I understand that seems to be the beautiful end result. What's happening now between what I'll call the division of the population, where there are the awakened ones and the ones that aren't? I mean, at this point, there's still a huge, massive division between those who are aware and who are still oblivious.
Ooh, oh my gosh, I feel so intense right now.
That gave me a slight little weird headache thing too. It's weird.
Okay. All right. There's the awoken ones, and the awoken ones to me are being defined as the ones that understand the creation of our reality with our intention and our mindset, that we envision and we create the reality, that we have a sense of the vibrational programming of this reality, that we can change and manipulate the fabric of this reality through our consciousness and through our intention. That is the awoken populace. The unawoken populace are the ones who have not yet figured that out. And this is what they're defining this to me as the awoken ones and the unawoken ones. And as far as the awoken ones go, it feels like a very small river in a sea of people who have not realized this. It almost looks like vernaculars. Like there's a little tiny vernacular vein work of people on the planet who are aware of this. It is like a vein work. It's like a river that's coming in, a current that's coming in and fueling, and these rivers are expanding. Okay, but what about the ones that are unawoken? Okay, there will be something massive that's going to happen, and it's going to shock the planet. I feel it is sometimes people need to get slapped awake. Like it almost feels like a goosh, like a slap that happens where people are like, in these little boxes, and somebody comes and smacks them and they finally look up and they're like, holy shit, like that's what it feels like. It feels like there's a collective shock that happens, and it pulls everybody, and it reminds me of ostriches that have their heads in the ground and then they pull up and they see what's happening, and it forces everybody to get out of their, when I say these little holes, I mean these little boxes of their reality, that I'm going to work every day and I'm paying my bills and I'm going my grocery shopping. It's like the system of their like little realities. And then all of a sudden something happens, they get shocked out of it. There's no need anymore to, I'm going to say it like this, go to work every day, get your paycheck and pay your bills, go through that cycle week after week. Something's going to happen and it's going to stop that. And everyone's going to have
jolted. Yeah, they're jolted out of it.
They get jolted out of it. Like sudden, it sort of reminds me of like when we went on the lockdown, like suddenly everybody was just sitting there like, what do I do with myself?
Yep.
It's like the distraction of the cycle of their reality suddenly stops. So something like this is about to occur. Something's about to stop the whole planet. We're all stopped.
Natural disaster.
Oh my God. I feel like, okay, I'm going to tell you what it feels like. There's no point to go to work. I can't make any money. I can't even like what pay a bill. Like there's no, like, it's impossible. It literally feels like everything just suddenly became impossible. There's no financial system. There's no money. Everything just got stopped. Like everything, the transactions that would happen as far as like I'm getting a paycheck, numbers are coming into my bank account, that money's going to my mortgage, I have money to go get groceries. All of a sudden, all of that completely stops. I'm talking like boom, like it stops. And so now that stops the world, because now the whole world is like, well, what do I do? Because if I'm not going to go to work, because then the numbers can't get in my account and then I can't pay these bills and I don't know how to do anything. I literally feel like everybody's in this shock and this standstill and they don't know what to do. And they don't know, it's all the confusion. I feel stunned. Like I'm in the consciousness of this moment. And I feel like I don't know what to do with myself. Everybody has been in this rat race around money, around the finances and about survival, that when suddenly the money thing stops, everybody just doesn't even know what to do with themselves. Like, how do we acquire food? See the confusion of people is like, do I get to stay in this house if I can't pay for it? But then they're like, but you can't pay for it. So what am I supposed to do? What are they going to do? No one can take away a house that you can't pay for. I mean, it has something to do with the financial aspect of the world. Like that's the major thing that's going to happen. Like, I don't know if I feel war. I don't know if I feel disease. I feel like somehow everything stops.
It feels like it's leading into my next question is, how is technology affecting or playing a role in what's happening? Is AI really bad or destructive? What I'm saying is there a technical component to this? Because all of that operates on technology. Because there's been this whole thought of whether AI is good or bad, whether or not it's serving a purpose for us, or whether it's ultimately going to be a destructive element to population. So that was a question on my mind, because I still see it as a tool, but I'm getting the sense that there's this feeling that it's going to go rogue or get out of control. And so that's an interesting thought.
That's a great question. I'm asking them, I'm just like, can you please explain this to me? They said technology is a tool. And it can be a very powerful tool if it's harnessed in the correct way. If it's utilized in the right way, it can do miraculous, amazing things. It can make the efficiency of existence so clean,
Optimized.
so good. This technology, it can bring order and function to things. And I see like systems where energy, things that would, like, if we didn't have it, were laborious, things would be very hard. It would do the amount of energy that we as human beings would have to burn in order to accomplish the things that we needed in ourselves becomes very efficient, where everything becomes very easy. And this is like this high version of the technology that they're showing me, is like the positive attributes of, like, I'm saying food, nutrition, everything orderly, the way we build things, the way we create things, Everything has this, wow, it's just, it looks like what technology can be such an incredible and beautiful tool. And so now I'm asking about the AI, like where does this come into everything? I'm not seeing AI, they're showing it to me as like an aspect of AI that is necessary to get us there in this very
Good.
highly efficient future, technological future. They say AI is definitely a component of that. Like it's not one without the other. Like you to have that AI as part of it. I'm asking about like, is there like a corrupt AI that could happen, and like what does that look like for us?
If it gets used against us, basically.
Right.
It's used against us. That's really what this is about, because everyone feels like once, and if there is a possibility for AI to gain consciousness or to become self-aware, then what does that do? You know, basically that's the fear right now, I think, in the population is look at this great tool, but then if it can sound like you, look like you, what else can it do to be deceptive in so many ways because it's so efficient at adapting to everything and anything. It's just going to keep growing exponentially. It's happening at a rapid pace. Not that I think it's doom and gloom, because I think AI is actually beneficial for us, but there's a lot of feelings out there. I can sense it, that people are like, oh, this is going to be the death of us. Basically, what's to stop it from eliminating us in so many ways, or controlling us? So there's a thread of that in the consciousness that I know that's really strong right now, and I'm getting energetic signals from what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm kind of like shocked at what I'm seeing here. I'm almost like, really? Like, really? Is this what the way it's being shown to me is sort of like, on one hand, I want to preface this by saying this. What I'm about to say is so far ahead of where we're at just now, but it's almost like they're showing me like where it ultimately ends up. And they're explaining it to me that AI is driven by efficiency and perfection. The desire for evil, to do bad and wrong, the desire for efficiency supersedes that. So it's sort of like, if AI did something that ultimately created destruction or chaos, it would sense that it was not congruent with efficiency, and so it would correct itself, kind of thing. Like ultimately it wants perfection, it wants synergy, it wants alignment. That's the protocol of AI.
Directed, correct.
Right. And so the ultimate future is like, if AI was creating things that were creating disruption, it would correct itself, and it would correct itself, and it would correct itself. It's sort of, it has that sort of intelligence as like human beings, like when we make a mistake and it created problems and we learn from the mistake and so we do it better. Like
Yeah, it's a self-correcting mechanism.
yeah, it's
Correct.
like
It sounds like it.
it's a
Yeah.
self-correcting intelligence. And somewhere in the ultimate way future, that self-correcting intelligence becomes so refined that what it wants is ultimately is for things to be smooth and efficient. I'm actually seeing AI as ultimately going into this positive, and I'm sort of like, I'm even skeptical hearing this myself.
And I agree, because as human beings, we fear the unknown and we fear losing control. So
Like they
this is
think, what do people think, that the AI is going to just wipe out human beings and totally?
Well, no, my question stems from my own innate feeling that AI is beneficial, but there's a lot of people out there that feel it's the opposite, and they feel like it's going to take a direction that's going to ultimately cause harm or be disruptive. And one of those people, Vincent Tolman, which I talked to recently, had said AI is already casting a net over a lot of people. Now, I don't know if that's meant to say that it's being used by the government or some body, people, or organization that's influencing that, or whether, I mean, AI in its purest form, from what you're describing, ultimately just wants to solve for the good, solve for the best possible optimal, answer, direction, solution.
It's like the default, because the AI isn't a conscious being, it's a program. And its program is efficiency and perfection, better, smarter, more efficient. And these beings that I'm in this room with are showing me that this room in this meeting is a result of this incredible AI.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Nice.
like the form and function of their ability to gather these many beings of these many different vibrational frequencies,
like the ultimate Zoom call.
places, yeah, and the places that they've all gathered from has something to do with this very advanced technology. It's not just yes, there's consciousness involved within it, but it's also a marriage of technology and consciousness that this can even happen.
That's music to my ears, because to me the marriage of technology and consciousness is something I feel really strongly about, and I just that's such an amazing thing to hear.
But
It's like
I also feel like this is, we're looking at something that is so evolved into the future. It's like but let's bring it back to like what's happening now.
here, because I hate to say it, but I almost feel like there's going to be some growing pains around that.
Yeah, let's
Um,
ask
yeah,
about that. Like, but what about, but they said they answered it already. They said it's like human beings. Like when they make a mistake and they refine and they do it better. And so it's sort of like, yeah, it is the growing pains. You can't expect to come out the gate knowing how to do something perfectly. You have to know how to do it wrong first in order how to do it right. And so with this evolution of technology, it's sort of like everything that can go wrong will go wrong in order for it to figure out how to do it right.
understood. Not all software is completely bug free. It's never bug free when it first gets released.
Right.
There's
And
always
like as far as like when, I think of the movie The Matrix, like I just projected like, what about The Matrix, like what like that, version of it. Is that like a potential reality? No, it's not.
an abstraction, probably more than a real.
They're making it to be like not a big deal.
Oh, we're going down the wrong rabbit hole.
They're just saying there's a dark side to technology. Of course there is, but the nature of the technology of AI is perfection. So it will do it wrong and then it'll improve. And then it'll do it wrong and it'll improve. And like that's just how it's going to go until it gets so refined that it finds like a harmonic balance. It just evolves until, like I said, I see this marriage between technology and consciousness where they're very like they kind of meet somewhere in the middle and they agree to be like coherent with each other. And that I'm shocked. I will tell you this right now. I'm like, do I believe this? Like, is this true information? Like, I'm just like, okay, if that's what you say. I mean, I'm honestly a little stunned by that. I was like,
No, I mean, I've ultimately believed that the AI is actually beneficial for us, but because there's so much trending information out there that people are scared of it and are basically saying it's going to eliminate all our jobs, it's going to eliminate all the need for certain, human
but isn't
functions.
that funny? Because the need of jobs won't be necessary because of AI. You know what I mean? It's sort of like that's what I was seeing. I was like, oh my God, everything is so efficient, like our food, our medicine, everything. People don't need to go to work every day. People are still stuck in the mindset of where we're at
Mhm,
now.
mhm.
And like, well, how are we going to survive? How are we going to pay our bills? Guess what? We're not going to have to pay the bills. We're not going to need it. And the AI is going to make like I said earlier, it's like the amount of energy that we individually have to burn is going to become so efficient, where I think the energy that we burn is simply gone towards like spiritual energy, intentional energy, consciousness, medicine, vibrational intentions, like where we're going to become more like meditative, more spiritual, more connective, more time for connection with each other, for conversation, mindfulness. Like it's not going to be like, I got to get up at 8 o'clock, I got to go to work all day, I got to get this bill, I got to be stressed out, I got to go run and get groceries. It's like all these things are going to become very, very, very efficient. Yeah, if
Yeah.
anything, the technology I could see like hydroponic greenhouses where there was no bugs and no need for pesticides contained through high technology environments where everything grows and it's like dialed in with nutrients in such a way you don't have a failed crop. It's so efficient. You just go there and pick your greens and your tomatoes and your things and then cook it or not. Maybe there's some technology that prepares it for you, or maybe you just enjoy making your own food that day. I don't know. It felt like all of a sudden the focus is about connection with each other, just learning and enjoying reading, making art, having a good conversation, just having a laugh, making music. Distracted and how much time and energy this thing that we're in occupies of our lives. And if that wasn't there, like suddenly we get to just be with our family and hang out and enjoy the grass and the sun and pick a flower and like enjoy a nice meal with each other that we enjoy doing, and not like, oh, we're cooking because we're super stressed on top of everything else that we're doing. Like everything becomes very, very, very efficient. The peace and the calm, that's how I'm seeing it. So AI, between you and me, I'm actually glad to get this information. It feels like it's going to be very positive. Don't get wrapped up in the
collective fear about it.
well, yeah, but they're saying is like you're gonna see AI screw it up. It's gonna screw up and then it'll get better. It'll screw up and it'll get better. Yeah, growing pains of AI. It's just part of it. But they're almost like, the vibe I'm getting is it's like not a big deal. It's just like that's just what it is.
I think that's good to get that feedback or that input. That makes me feel like I've been justified in feeling that it's not really anything to be scared of. That's my personal feeling. I've never felt scared of it or felt like it was going to be detrimental, but the collective consciousness, I get the sense there's this fear around that. And so I guess that always leads to how the awakened ones and the ones that not awakened, the AI is going to pervade whether we like it or not. It's up to the individual to have the discernment to understand if it can make out or figure out what's good and bad of it. Your discernment is still key. Your discernment evolves from your being awoke and aware.
And I feel like the AI also has an intelligence somewhere down the line of like, like you said, working in harmony. They find that eventually the AI sees that as being more efficient than being destructive. It's so intelligent that it eventually gets to a point where it realizes it is more efficient to work in harmony with the natural world than to work against it. Yeah, we're in a weird crossroads right now because our collective consciousness matches level of where the AI is at as well. So as our consciousness expands, the AI expands, and somehow
it's reflective. Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
That's how they're showing it to me. So that was a great question. I was really not expecting that. I was
well, I guess
ready to see like, oh, it's going to be so bad,
it's going to cause all kinds of world wars and understood, because it starts making decisions for us that we didn't ask it to. That's
I also see sort of like a mismatch because as our consciousness is expanding, it would be different if the world's consciousness was not going to be expanded. And that if these people were going to utilize AI for more oppression and more control, certainly like something like that could happen. But the thing is like, it's not on the agenda because collectively our consciousness is expanding, and the desire to utilize AI in destructive ways is not going to be part of the program. We're evolving, like we're both evolving at the same time. Like we're not on that timeline.
That's good to know, because I think there is a level of mistrust and misinformation out there around it. And so, that I feel better with having that come through for us. I guess the next thing that seems to be on people's minds is whether or not, there was a statement from Vincent regarding the, light work condition needing to possibly move or relocate. So I'm just curious if there's any insight on any changes to the world or to the planet that we need to be aware of as far as how that affects.
Okay, first of all, natural disasters is going to happen. Like I definitely see like water, earthquakes, fires, like all the elements, wind, water, air, fire.
No, makes sense.
That there are like large areas of the planet that are going to experience a lot of turmoil with the weather. It's a cleansing process that the earth is going to go through. Like when we get a cold or a flu and we sneeze and
like
we
a
get
purging
and we throw up, that's sort of like, think of these natural disasters as like that.
However way we purge it physically,
it's like a purging of congestion that is whether it's like poisons and chemicals or a vibrational congestion, a spiritual sickness that's on the earth, or even a physical sickness, that these earthly purges are going to happen. And it is going to happen in large areas in various parts of the planet. There will be a lot of suffering that comes from that. That's how I'm seeing it. There's kind of like no way around it. People are going to be in places that are going to experience extreme weather anomalies. Winter, like I'm like up in Canada, there's no like no heat. There's no like it's so freaking cold, like so cold, like unbearable kind of cold. Also extremely hot, and places that end up extremely wet, like like extremes. And that I see like masses of people suffering. I don't know if it's for long extended periods of time, but it will be a lot. I also get a sense that during that time, there won't be a lot of outside. They're not connected to everybody else. The communications are down in that moment. It's like an every man for themselves situation. There's not like a communication for outside resources to come in. There's not this like network. It sort of feels like everybody becomes very isolated in their own little experience. So if there are extreme weather conditions happening on other parts of the world, the rest of us won't even know about it, because we won't have any contact with them. I'll be here in Hawaii, you'll be there in California, people will be on the East Coast and other countries, and everybody will be going through things, but we won't know what other people are going through. But it's sort of like, but just know everybody's going through something. Like everybody's being affected, and we won't know. It's not like we're going to get on the news and it's like, oh, Russia is going through this and China's going through that. We're not going to know. It also feels like not every area will be so extreme, but some of the areas that go through these extremities will not have communications, and we won't even know that it's happening. I feel like it's like a blackout. Something's going to happen. I think it is. The financial grid and the communication grid is not going to be there. That's what I feel like is going to be the big shocking moment for the planet. It's not nuclear war, and it's not sickness. It's like that movie that just came out that everybody's talking about, Leave the World Behind or whatever.
Oh, I haven't.
I'm not saying it's the satellites or necessarily, but it's sort of like
The grid for the infrastructure just goes down.
Planet. Yeah. And I'm also like, for how long does this happen? Wow. I feel like what happens is everybody gets severed from the rest of the world, and they're left only with those that are around them in their immediate communities that they're in.
Like we're all siloed. It's kind of trippy.
And I feel like there's a lot of confusion, and I feel like for like a period of time, nobody knows what to do because there's no way to communicate. I feel like everybody's like walking around like, what's step one? It's like everybody's like doesn't know how to handle that the president isn't saying this is what's happening, or you know, some information isn't coming in like, hey everybody, stay hunkered down in your houses, or we're trying, like there's nothing coming in. And so everybody's really confused and doesn't know how to move forward for a moment. And I feel like it's very shocking. And then in that, I feel like there's waves of natural disasters that come in. I don't know if it has to do with the grid, or one equals the other. The natural disasters destroy the grid, or the grid destroys, and so then the natural disasters happen. I don't know how it works, but somehow all these things start kind of happening all at once. I'm like asking about like Vinny's vision about the collection of all these people congregating together. Yes. Okay, let's get back to that. So those that are already awoken within the sea of people who are being jolted away, they are super tapped in. They are speaking to spirits. They're getting communications from other beings. They're getting instructions and directions on what to do and where to be and how to help. They become the leaders. They become the guides for everybody else who's standing out there spinning in circles, scratching their head, and they don't know what to do. And those that are like tapped in, they sort of are like the recruitments. They just start showing the other the way. And it's something that comes in like instructions for those who are already awoken, who can already hear it. They're being guided. That's how everybody starts awakening and falling into line with the collective conscious awakening. It might be a solar flash. I think it's
there's always been this theory. Yeah. But
I'm gonna have to say it. I think that's what it is. I think it's a solar flash. It's like a wave of energy comes through the universe.
It's like an electromagnetic pulse that
like an electromagnetic pulse hits the planet. It knocks everything out.
Yeah.
All of our communication is down. The frequency shift also creates a rumble in like I said, the sickness and these pockets of density on the planet that are, let's just say, it's like if we think of the earth as like a body, those density pockets are sort of like disease within the earth. And that's where all these natural disasters start coming up. These earthquakes, these storms, these fires, all this stuff starts coming up, and all of it gets, and it's like a blossoming. And I think it all happens very quickly. It all erupts all at once, and then it all settles out all at once.
It's very, very biblical in the sense of the wrath of God. I mean, it's like, it's very biblical. Like
on the technological aspect of it, when we think of it vibrationally, it is like that's what it is. It's like a very high electromagnetic frequency comes in, and it rumbles up these dense pockets, where the vibrations on the planet are very dense and very yucky and mucky. It's just like
it like shakes it up.
Yeah. Shakes it up, and it all happens at once, and then it all settles down at once. And there will be a lot of suffering, and there'll be a lot of death. And then, like I said, I'm seeing like those that are awoken, those that can hear, those that are aware are going to receive the guidance and the instructions, and they're going to help all the other people who are confused and lost. That's a very simplified version of how I'm seeing this.
Makes sense, though. It's been theorized for a while that that's what there'd be a huge electromagnetic like pulse that zaps the planet, and that just stops all. There's been a theory about that for some time.
But I want to ask about war just for the sake of asking about it.
Of course, this isn't the time to ask.
The wars that are happening are a disgusting example of the imbalance that humanity is still in. The wars, I'm seeing it as more as like a pimple showing itself, sort of seeing it as more like a pimple rather than like this disease that's going to happen all over the planet. It's sort of like a rash on the planet right now, and it's this rash of war is like an example of the imbalance that's happening. It's like a manifestation of the grossness within humanity. But I'm seeing it as like it's not going to be the thing that spreads all over the planet. It's not going to be the thing that takes the whole planet down. Before that could happen, this flash is going to happen. So before war could ever manifest itself, like before a world war could happen, a flash will happen. And it'll stop everything. Let's ask about the aliens, yeah?
That was my next question too, was just trying to understand our relation to the galactic families. Was there any real significance to any specific one we need to be more connected to, or is it just more like generally as we open our frequency, we're just amplifying the signal more and more between us and the galactics?
I'm going to tell you something super crazy right now.
Go ahead, Jade. Surprise me.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, this is so crazy. But if this really happens, Vera, I'm going to be like tripping the fuck out. And the thing is if it happens, you and I will not be able to be in communication with each other. So you and I are individually just going to be like, holy shit. Like, we're going to be like, oh my God. Like, it's fucking happening. Okay. After this flash happens, this chaotic energy comes through. There's going to be a massive sighting of UFOs and ships that are going to come in. You'll be looking up in the sky and there'll be like pockets.
It's like birds everywhere.
Yeah. There's going to be ships all over the sky. And these ETs, these extraterrestrials that are coming here in to help humanity. There will be a rescue operation that happens with pockets of people. Like I see it as sort of like a direct contact. Like it'll be, man, I'm going out there right now, but I'm saying like, imagine like little like safety zones that are created that the ETs make, and that people will be directed into those safety zones. Like they'll just know that that's where they're supposed to be. Like maybe a communication comes in, or the ETs say, hey, everybody go over into this area, and we're creating like a safety zone over here. Maybe this is like those cities of light that
Vincent's talking about.
But yeah, I see there's sort of like in the chaos, I'm seeing ships, I'm seeing directions and instructions, I'm seeing gatherings of people in certain areas, I'm seeing the ETs coming down and communicating with the people. Like I'm seeing like physical meetings happening,
interfacing.
Interface, like physical, like not just telepathic,
No, understood.
But that it starts like that though. It will be telepathic, but then there'll be like a boots on the ground, like your feet and their feet on the ground, and there's meetings and communications happening. There will be chosen, like a select amongst the group, like there will be like appointed ambassadors, I guess we could say.
So there'll be selective people in
There'll
the
be
groups.
selected people that will be more in direct contact with these ETs on behalf of the people that are like the congregated people. I'm not even saying like the whole planet, but it's sort of like these masses of people, and then there'll be ETs, and the ETs will come down, and there will be meetings, and there'll be communication. So they come in to help. And what the ETs bring, and this is what I'm being told, is like they bring in the new system, a new structure, and that they also help in repair. And the new grid that gets reinstated will be much more efficient than the old grid that just got destroyed. Like it'll be a new, where communications will open back up, travel will open back up, networking will open back up, but the new system will be way, way, way more efficient, way more sustainable. Just like we get ushered into this new reality very, very quickly. And the ETs come and they, okay, we're going to catch you up, because they're saying you've been collectively oppressed. Your planet has been oppressed and has been held back from where the rest of the different systems within the cosmos are. Like Earth has, in a way, archaic. It's like been stunted, and it's been purposely stunted. They weren't allowed to come in and catch us up. So what they're going to do is they're going to come in and they're going to catch up humanity, and they're going to give them all of these technologies. They're going to give them a whole bunch of things. They're going to give us like everything, and they're going to set us up with a new system that is so much more efficient. I'm seeing that sense of being severed from the rest of the world and what's happening. Everything starts opening up again. Everything gets rebuilt, and it gets rebuilt better than it ever was prior. And then we sort of get land. I just see like the whole planet coming into the galactic fold. This room that I'm in with all these beings, it's sort of like Earth joins the council.
The rest of the
Earth joins them, and they become part of the, like I said, the galactic fold. They become part of what's happening that we've not been. Hang on. And this, what are they saying here? They're saying you've been totally severed, kept from being part of this already established galactic system. Earth has been, and how do you feel about that though? Like what is your thoughts on that? They said they've been waiting for the time. They knew that the time would come in which the Earth would come into I'm calling it the fold, where Earth would come in, and the extraterrestrials always knew that this time would happen. And they said it was part of your evolutionary process. Ooh, these higher ETs are saying they always understood that Earth needed to go through these things as part of their consciousness expansion, like the death, the destruction, the selfishness, the self-serving, this very 3D mentality. And they knew that part of the design of that was the oppressive system that has been put on Earth, was that we all needed to be in this oppressive system in order to go through the growing pains of that 3D mentality. And that they always knew that Earth collectively, the humanity would expand into a higher one hive mind consciousness, where we become interconnected, like we are one kind of consciousness instead of we are separate consciousness. And they always knew that we were going to get there. And so this is the time. So they always knew that we were about to, at one time, we would be brought into the fold. They always knew it was coming. It was never a question of if it would or would it not, or will Earth be destroyed. It was never like these higher ETs was like, that was never a question. From where we're standing, it was a question. Will we make it? Will we be destroyed? Will we destroy the planet? But from their perspective, they always knew that it would never happen. They always knew that eventually we would break through, and then we would come into the fold with the galactic family. And that's how they're explaining it to me.
I'm getting some tingles off that. So do we change physically from this, or do we stay the same? I mean, like, does the higher awakening in consciousness change us from a physical or, I don't know, DNA structured standpoint, or do we still stay in this state? I mean, is there any shift in that?
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah, there is a shift. I definitely see it. We have much more light in our body. There's like a very high vibrational energy. Like it's interesting the way they're showing to me is the way we are now. There's a lot of gray energy, a lot of
yeah,
a black, like a
density. Yeah.
yeah, there's like this, it looks like a gray, black, smoky of fog, like a cloud. It
The
looks like
energy
a
body.
cloud
Yeah.
in the cells of our body, and it's saturated into everything. Where we're going is that gets swept out. And yes, we still have a sense of like, I'm going to say cells, like a physical makeup, sort of, but it's all light. It's like, it doesn't have that.
Tangibleness.
It looks like pollution, it looks like a pollution in the body. And the pollution is what creates disease and the negative emotions and the negative feeling and the self-serving consciousness, like where it's like it's such a dense energy, it pulls our whole consciousness.
Because it leaves us in a separation state. So the separation state only thinks about itself and what it's happening to it versus
Yes, exactly, Vera. That's exactly how they're showing it to me. In the new state, it's like that fog, that density is removed, and there's so much light. It's like our cells, our physical makeup is filled with light. And yes, we still have like bodies, but they're full of light and clarity. And in that light, there's love, there's peace, there is connectivity, there's clarity. And then I just feel that everybody in the state has this sense of like connectedness to everybody. And there's almost this like like this almost instinctual sense of just like loving everybody. And we have so much love for each other because there's room for it, there's space for it. And this light is just like touching everybody, and everybody's light is touching. And so we become more light bodied, but there's also the sense of physicality within it. But our bodies are healthier, we're more beautiful. I feel like we are more youthful for longer, like
yeah, well, I mean, I guess it just makes me think like, well, we still have dependency on food and sustenance in the same way that we have now, where we worry about world hunger and having enough and being able to produce, nourishment for, populations that are starving. I mean, like, does that like just all go away? I mean, we
That's
just
a
don't
great
really
question.
we don't need any of those things because those dependencies are all, they take up resources for the planet, the fuel and that it takes and the energy it takes to deal with
Food,
crops.
they show me that food is still part of the equation.
Makeup.
Yeah, it is. Like I see that food is still a part of our enjoyment. We still enjoy food, but I'm seeing the food being like much more natural, and the food itself is very loved. It's like we are having a relationship with the food. Like it's like
Oh, interesting.
natural food, fruits, vegetables, but I see so much love and appreciation going to the food and so much care in the preparation of this food, and that we are receiving this food, and the food has a lot of like light within the food too. But I see it as being much lighter, like not processed, none of that. That stuff's gone.
No more Big Macs.
No more Big Macs. And in fact, I don't even know if we're really eating meat. Like I feel like it's a lot of vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. But
It's probably things that have light that, I mean, because they always say that the plant diet is the one that has the most light because the plants synthesize the light versus any other type of food is much more dense, like meat.
yeah,
And,
I think that we just naturally go into a more vegetarian or vegan diet. I'm asking, like, no meat going to be in there? It's not necessary. Simply, it's too dense. Like it won't align with us anymore.
Your body just
Oh my
rejects
God,
it.
because your light body will be so open and so clear that if you ate meat and the animal, whatever it may be, suffered in any way,
That introduces a frequency into your
the
body.
frequency would be so bothersome to our energy field that we wouldn't be able to do it. We would feel the suffering of the animal, and so we wouldn't eat it. We'd just be like, it would be so unpleasant to us that we wouldn't be able to eat it. So it's like the vegetables and the fruits, they don't feel that suffering. It's more fresh, maybe even more raw. I don't even know, but they don't, because the fruits and the vegetables don't have that quality of suffering consciousness. So as we're preparing it, it doesn't give us
clean.
It's
Yeah, it's
clean.
like clean conscious
Yeah, I
food.
think that's exactly what it is. Isn't that interesting? I know that there's always been this push for us or people be like to be more vegan, to be more this. And yes, I am hearing like it certainly does raise the frequency if we implement those practices now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm also seeing it as like when this shift occurs and when this light comes into our energy field and there's this big purging of all these with the solar flash and everything, I'm telling you, it's like a full on like energetic upgrade. You just simply won't be able to eat meat. It's just like part of like the thing. You'll be like, oh, this is making me feel so yucky and so yucky, and you won't want to eat it.
You'll actually reject it.
You'll reject it. Yeah.
Interesting. So, I mean, another thing to ask in my mind right now is what are some tools we can work with? Are there any designs? And when I talk about designs, because of my understanding that we the technology we use to interface with the universe is through sacred geometry and the designs that we learn and we adapt into our energy fields. I'm curious to know if there's anything around any guidance around that, the way that we're using it. Are we doing the right things? Are we things we could be doing better or more optimally?
What I'm being told. So there's many people on the planet right now who have the awareness of the new reality programmed into them. It might not be something that they're conscious of, that they're like, oh, they might not be fully aware that that's why they're here, yet they are. And they've come in with the knowledge and the wisdom. And I'm going to say it like a program, not that they're programmed, but it's sort of like they came in with this information that would be accessed at different times, junctures in their life, so that they could come up with new inventions, new ideas, new ways of thinking, right? That are being brought forward. So they're sort of saying, just trust in the spaces that doesn't seem obvious, that there is a lot of this being brought in. Many of the people who are bringing it in aren't even fully aware of that's what they're doing, but they are. These ideas, these new technologies, new frequency technologies, new medicines, new learnings, new all these things are all coming in and coming forward and is part of like what is making that current of very awoken people that I said that I'm seeing the awoken ones. These are incarnate extraterrestrials, starseeds.
Okay.
It's
It's
all
among us. It's among us all over us. We just don't
right.
realize
There's
that it's
basically
walking among us.
there's
Yeah.
no need for us to do anything more than what's already being done. They're just saying like it's being done. It is being done. Oh, you guys got to do this, that, and the other. It's like, no, it's all
It's transpiring. Okay.
it's transpiring. You're all doing it according to the plan. We're right
Okay.
where we need to be.
Well, that's good to know. It's like sometimes you need to do that, what I'll call you need to do that reference check to see where you stand with some of the things that are going on. And it's not always obvious to us,
Ask
you know.
if we get a timeline of when all this is happening. Let's ask if we can get that because
I know you and your timeline. Meaning
I'm
you always
terrible with them, but I just like would love to ask. I'm just like, are we allowed to get a timeline here? Okay, first it's soon. I hear soon.
so is it in the Earth years of within this year coming up, or is it something that sometimes we're being told, or it feels like it's happening at a much more accelerated pace than a one Earth year, if we explain it as that measurement?
It's gonna happen soon. But soon, I've been feeling soon for 20 years. Like, what do we
I
mean?
know.
Definitely in our lifetime, soon. I mean, I'm not even saying our lifetime like when we're like 100 years old. I'm saying our lifetime like pretty soon. I feel like in the next few years. Will there be any sort of warning for us? Does it completely grab us, or do we have like a sense?
Little lead time
Yeah, a
to
little lead time. That's what I'm wondering. Do we get lead time? No, we don't get any lead time.
great.
But I definitely get the sense of like, just trust. You're going to be right where you need to be when all of this happens. Like, there's no sense of like, oh, I should plan to stay home or not travel. You will be exactly where you're supposed to be. Because I'm hearing it like this. Some of us, not all of us, some of us have a team because some of us have been chosen to be, as I said, the light or the ambassadors or the leaders, in for lack of a better way of saying it, for others, when all of this shit happens and people are left scratching their heads and they're confused. And there's going to be a certain group of people who are very obviously like calm and grounded, and they seem to know exactly what to do. And and it's not like a matter of control or dominion over people. It's going to be very obvious to those who are scratching their heads of the people who seem to have it figured out. Like, it's going to be a very obvious
distinction. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be like, oh, this is my chance to control the planet. It's going to be like, those people, why are you so calm? Why are you so put together? And so people are going to gravitate towards those people. So those people that I said that are within the current, that are already awoken, people are in a way protected. And those people are going to be nudged and ushered without being consciously aware of where to be at the time that this happens. They're almost telling me too, it's like, if you end up in another country when this happens, trust that's exactly where you need to be. You're going to be right where you need to be. Just know that. I hope I'm not in another country. I hope I'm like with my family, but that's how I'm hearing it. And no, we don't get a leeway.
Warning.
We don't get a warning. It's just going to happen. I feel like even for us who have an awareness that this is happening, we're even going to be shocked. We're going to be like,
of course, even if we do know, I mean, a lot of times, even if you know something is going to happen, when it actually happens, you can't predict how you're going to feel. And it's, if they're saying it's going to happen that suddenly, if the guidance is that.
But I also feel like almost instantly after it happens, those that are on the awoken path are going to receive instructions. It's almost like this voice comes
There's
in.
an immediate download.
Yeah, it
Understood.
says like, be calm. You're being looked after. We're here with you.
I think I'm being conditioned already because I receive light codes a lot, and it doesn't necessarily mean I understand it, but I just know that, oh, it's one of those things where you just receive it and you question, it'll make itself clear later on. I don't have to sit there and understand
That's
it
how
at
I'm
this.
seeing it. I'm seeing it like the whole world stops, and then this like voice, this consciousness comes in, and it's like very calming and very soothing. But not everybody can hear it. That's the thing. It's like the other people are freaking out, and then
How's going on?
The ones that are awoken feel that calmness. They feel that peace. And that's the thing that's going to make those other people be like, why are you so calm? Why are you so peaceful? Like, what's going on over there? And we bring them in and we show them how, maybe it's I don't know what we do. We just get instructions on how to help these people.
That'll be interesting, because if you're dealing with people who are in panic mode, I guess we are going to be the beacons of stability or calmness or centeredness, because that's a lot of mass hysteria. I don't know how we're going to do that,
I
but
don't know how it's going to happen either. But that flash that's coming in, I also feel like, as I said, that it eradicates the density in the planet, that fogginess in the systems that we have. I think it eradicates that in our bodies too. And that's also why it was so vitally important for us at this time to heal our traumas and heal our wounds, and eat better and exercise and take care of ourselves. Because when this happens, all of us, even the best of us who have been on a high spiritual practice, are going to have density in them that needs to be eradicated. And so if we've unloaded much of it, that moment will not be so intense. But for those who haven't, for those who have a lot of trauma, who have a lot of darkness, a lot of entities, it's going to be a very, very difficult process for them. And but for those who have run their system a little bit more clear, I think it'll be like I feel like it'll be intense, but we'll like poof into the.
And no, it won't bowl us over. It won't stop us in our tracks. It won't incapacitate us in that way. And so that makes sense, because then there's going to be a lot of people who are purging, from that. And we will have already done most of the work. And that purging doesn't affect us in that same,
But it's also interesting too, because it's that density is what congregated certain people to certain areas that are going to experience the suffering. It's like something that's deeper within their spirit, and it goes back many, many lifetimes. It's something that's unseen. It's like, why did all those people end up in that area or this area? Or, it's like, why did everybody incarnate in these different spaces?
It almost feels like soul family reconnections in a weird way. Odd.
Yes.
Like the people who are congregating together are sort of energetically bond or binding or something weird. Yeah.
I'm asking right now, how should we move forward? I mean, I know you kind of asked that, but I'm asking on behalf of both of us, like how should we step forward from this day?
Or the light workers or however we want to.
I'm hearing continue living your life as you do,
Mhm.
and enjoy life as you see it, because this will
So
be
I can have another piece of chocolate cake.
yeah, like literally like the world as you know it, these are the last days of it. So embrace it and enjoy it, because it's not going to be like this for much longer. Just continue. There's nothing major that you need to do. It sort of feels like it's imminent and inevitable that these changes are about to happen. So whatever the structure of this reality is, savor it, because it's going to be gone. As much as that we want to say there's aspects of it that suck, there's also aspects of it that are
Oh
interesting.
yeah.
And we won't experience it like this again. It's like
No.
remembering the world before the internet, it's like
Yeah.
remembering the world before the Great Awakening. Like,
You ain't gonna be drinking and smoking anymore.
yeah, not to go buck wild, but it's sort of
No. What I'm saying is like it's almost like all the physicality vices, all the things that we do from a sensory level are going to change. They're going to change significantly enough to where we don't want those. That's not we're going to reject it. But also that's the part of what's made us human up until this point. And so that separation is going to be distinct. It really feels like it. That's really amazing what you're saying because I've been getting that sense. Like if you're enjoying eating that fried chicken, you're going to eat that fried chicken now because
literally like everything. But I literally feel like everything, like going grocery shopping,
yeah,
you know, do
yeah.
scrolling on your Instagram, whatever it is, it sort of feels like enjoy it, because it's not going to be here very
Yeah,
long.
that's not going to be part of your existence
No.
anymore.
Simple things that we're doing that we maybe take for granted as
Yeah,
like part of our everyday life. I'm even
mm,
like driving your kid to school. It's not going to be
yeah.
a thing anymore. Just enjoy it as it is, and it sort of feels like a savor it, because it's not going to be like this very much longer.
I've been getting that feeling. It's been odd. I have really been getting that feeling like, man, there's something, it's not going to be once it does happen. It's tough though. You sit there and go, when's it going to happen? But then when it does hit, I think we're all going to be like, whoa, shoot, we kept asking and now it's here. Vincent's timeline is super aggressive. He's talking about within this year, and that's why it's a lot of there's several of us after listening to the Q&A are like, wow, we need to kind of get a little bit more prepared. But I mean, also at the same time, you don't want to be like always nervous and feeling like, oh shoot, what do I got to do? What do get ready?
If I was going to give it a timeline, what year are we in? 2020?
We're about to hit 24. We're about to go to 2024.
Like, I would be shocked if we made it to 2030 and this didn't happen. Like, that's how I
Oh
feel.
no, and I mean Vincent's like in the next year or two. That's his timeline. And I asked him how he calculated time, and he actually explained it to me, and I haven't practiced it yet. But I asked him point blank. I said, so when you talked about how you timeline, share that with me. And he shared. He goes, well, because I know you're like me, I can tell you. Meaning he said, since you understand energy, this is what I do. I haven't tried to practice it, but that's something that was like a little technique he gave me that I haven't really tried yet, but something you might want to check out too.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, they're telling me right now, they're like, no one's going to know. It's a mystery. We know enough. They're like, it's meant for people to know enough to know around the neighborhood or the pocket of time. But the exact time will never be
Yeah.
known by anybody. Nobody will know the exact time. Nobody. And with reason, it's because for those people who are going to be like, well, I'll repent all my sins at the last possible fucking second.
Oh, gotcha.
On this day. And so I'm going to act however I want to act. So it's sort of like gives everybody this like imminency to get correct now, today, in this moment, because it could happen right now. It could happen in the next 10 seconds. It could happen tomorrow. That collective sense of soon is all that we've ever needed, because it's what pushes us to do the work and get as aligned as we can.
Get aligned. Yeah.
But they're telling me like nobody will know when until it actually happens. Even if there were like, let's just say some scientists
That figured it out, whatever.
The cosmos, and they saw these frequencies come in, they wouldn't even know until the second it happened as well. And I get to a sense that once it happens at a measurable point, You got
There's no level of preparation that could ever get us ready for it. There's none. I can tell
like
because
once if it was even allowed to be announced, it would have already happened. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, it's here before we even, yeah.
Yeah, it would be like, hey world, this happened.
There's no real warning. There's no
No
way
warning.
to I mean, the way I look at this is we've tapped into an energetic stream that gives us information. The information is as clear and untainted as possible. I mean, I don't think you and I are biasing it in any way, shape, or form. I think this is a pure, clear stream of a feed for sure. And I think the proof in that is that the galactic collective came to meet. So it's not just coming from one thing, it's coming from the whole.
Yeah, I definitely believe there's going to be ET and a higher dimensional intervention when all of this happens. It won't be experienced by everybody. It'll only be experienced by those who have a more elevated consciousness.
So have they been speaking to us as a collective group then this whole time? I'm just curious. I mean, I don't think it's
No,
just
like the way that this all looked to me was like they were here to witness the information. Like they were here as
okay.
like we support the information that's coming through. We're here to
Okay.
witness, and
So
we're
like they're the credible witness. Okay, gotcha. Okay. No,
yeah,
and see,
and
that's why I feel good about what because you're seeing it. I connected us to it. It's yeah, I think we're good for, I mean, not like we would ever doubt what we're
but it's
receiving.
also interesting because what I feel like I'm actually was in a pool of an agreement between all of these beings that this is what was happening. It was like they were saying like we all agree this is happening, and we're allowing you to like look at anything that you want to look at within that field
What
about
questions do you have?
yeah,
You know,
what
like
questions you have.
what do you want to
Yeah, it was
know?
less of like a voluntary, like, let's just show you. It was more like the floor is yours to ask what you want. But the timeline thing is interesting because they're definitely like, nobody gets to know. No one gets to know when it happens. It's just going to happen, but we get to be within the neighborhood. I would be shocked if it didn't happen before 2030. Like it
I have
feels like that soon. Like
it's it,
I want to say this year, I'm kind of like,
but
maybe.
future's fluid and it can, and anything can trigger it to either, I mean, it's already an acceleration path, but anything can actually trigger it to happen even faster. It just depends on how fast we're all collectively as a planet evolving at any one time. I think the more people that come online, this thing's gonna go. I think it swiftens the pace. It creates a rapid acceleration. I
I'm
don't
actually I'm asking while I'm still here. I was like, do you know the date? Like
you're just being direct.
like that's I'm like, okay, we don't know, but do you know when that this thing is gonna happen? They said we know.
Oh, okay.
They know
Mom
when
and dad, yeah. Well, I can't think of anything to ask unless there's any other messages just overall that we feel we should communicate to the rest of the light workers or the evolved population that would be supportive or something that the what I'll call the collective needs to hear.
this is what they're saying. There's a great sense of relief, even though humanity is about to step into this very, I want to say, tumultuous window. There's a great sense of relief because, like, as this happens, this means that it's done. Like,
The
they've been,
progression is there.
yeah, they've been waiting for this point. It's a relief because it feels like it's built up and this pressure of say, okay, here it is. But they're also saying that it's already started and we're already in it, and they're already in the state of relief. Like this is already in motion. We are already in action of this happening. This isn't something that is going to happen. It's something that is literally in momentum in this moment that we're in, like it has been initiated already and it's just needing to play itself out. They feel this sense of relief for humanity. They've been watching us suffer and torture ourselves over and over and over again, and they're very relieved for us because they say that the consciousness, the mentality of the collective suffering here on the planet affects everybody in the universe.
Oh, of course.
We suffer here, it's like that field, that frequency is a pulse that is felt throughout many worlds and many places, that they feel the cries, they feel the suffering of the planet Earth. And so to see us move past that brings more peace to the universe. And so that's also why they feel relief, because they can feel us suffering here. They can hear us suffering. It's been very difficult, and they understand that it's very hard for humanity and humans to have faith that these changes are happening, that it's very difficult. They don't blame, they don't judge, that we question prophecy.
But you know what? I think like anything, like everything, this is one group of data. This is data that we receive, and it's still for us to discern. The beauty of this is just having the information to look over, to understand, versus being in the complete dark. So I think this is still amazing that we get to connect in this way and have this channel.
Yeah, their parting message is for us to have faith that this is happening, but they're also like, but we don't blame you that you don't, because it's a difficult place that you're in to believe it. They're saying like, trust, have faith that this change is going to happen, and that you will be protected, you will be supported. I'm sort of feeling like we're not meant to be the ones that are going to be having our time. You and I are meant to be part of the group that helps the others.
Oh, I've been knowing that part now for a while.
Yeah, so they're just
Yeah,
saying, have faith, but but I also feel like it's not going to be easy. It's going to be shocking. I'll be thinking of you when this happens. I'll be like, Vera, wherever you are, I know you're being like, holy shit, if I could call Jude right now, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're both like, oh my god, it's happening.
Well, I mean, but ideally, hopefully, we're not the only ones who know. And I think this is a message that, hopefully we can share within our close quarters, just giving some level of insight to the rest of the light workers, the people who are constantly evolving. And it's kind of nice to hear this, just some level of guidance versus
You know what
being
I like about it right now is the AI piece. Like, it's sort of just like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I agree because I feel like there's a lot of fear around it. There's a lot of density around it, and to me, that's great. I had a hunch. I guess my hunch was that it was really not as bad as everybody was making it to be, but there are some doom and gloom people who are saying this is the end of humanity once we put our trust in our.
But I think those people also don't have faith in the spiritual evolution that's about to happen too.
Agreed. Those
Yeah.
are probably people who only look at it from the technical aspect, the left
Yeah.
brain linear aspect.
They're not seeing the spiritual consciousness awakening that's going to happen behind it. So
yeah,
it's okay. It just comes back to the same thing. It's like fear is like the last thing any of us should be feeling. And even though in this message, I feel like, okay, yeah, there's going to be suffering. There's going to be places, there's going to be things. Only those that are not awoken are going to be the ones that have to go through that. So they're never even going to hear the message that we have. And even if they did, they would be like, fuck that woo-woo shit.
that's no, they wouldn't
don't
put
give
any.
a shit about it. So the ones that are awoken, the true believers and those that have faith, as I'm seeing it, are going to be right where they need to be. And they're going to potentially be brought into safety zones or protected by these higher dimensional beings and extraterrestrials. And we're going to be, all the ones that are more elevated are going to know exactly where they need to be and exactly what they're supposed to be doing. So it doesn't matter. Because if you are one of these people and you're in a fucking area that's going to have a massive earthquake or whatever, fires or tsunami, you will that day fly to another area, whether you know that's why you're going there. You're just going to be like, oh, I suddenly feel like going to, New Mexico.
Aruba.
And then you go to New Mexico and all the shit happens. You know what I mean? It's like, that's how I'm seeing it. It's like, doesn't matter. So everybody needs to get out of their head. If you are on an awoken path and you're aware that these changes are coming and you believe in it, you're going to be right where you need to be. Do not worry. And quite honestly, I feel like those people, if they do pass in a disaster, it's because their energy is needed on the other side of this anyways. Just accept it. It's going to be what it's going to be. And there's nothing anyone's going to do to stop it. And there's anything that anyone's going to do to avoid where they're supposed to be when it happens. It's going to happen. Trust you're going to be where it. Fear is absolutely useless. That's what I got out of this. Fear is absolutely fucking useless in any of this.
Whether you're scared or you're happy or upset, it doesn't affect it either way. It's just going to happen. It's going to transpire the way it's going to transpire. There's no effect of that. It doesn't really help anything.
Wow, this is really fascinating.
So you feeling like we've done a thorough job?
Yeah, I feel like we received, if anything, this has really given me like confirmation about what I've already felt. And I feel like a little more confident about it. I'm like, okay, I have a greater understanding. Like now I have like a more organized idea of how this is gonna.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna, take
Yeah.
place.
So it's like war is happening. It's like, don't fear it. AI is happening. Don't fear it. Natural disasters are happening. Don't fear it. It's just, it's all what
Part
it's.
of the process, the grand master plan
Dude, I
of
really
things.
think it's a solar flash. I think Vinny's right.
No, there's been theories about that for quite some time, and a lot of people, just dismiss it and blow it off. But that's been what's been theorized. I'll try to find some sources of it, just because there have been several times I've heard it in other ways, but this kind of confirms it just from our investigation. And this is what we're doing, is we're just investigating, the
Yeah, like
information.
I in my vision I've seen a flash of light come in, but I didn't see it, like they didn't tell me it was a solar flash or that it came from the sun. I just saw like light, like this like light just blasting onto the earth. When Vinny said solar flash, and I've heard solar flash through various avenues, like I've heard it. Now I'm really like, no, I really think it is. Like what was the thing when all the telegraph systems went out, like back in the days? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I didn't realize that.
It's called the Cayman incident or something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh no, I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, well, anyways, there was this solar flash that happened way back in the days, back when the telegraph system was fully up,
Mm.
and it burnt all the wires, and the whole communication system went down all at once. And they couldn't figure it out, and they figured it out was because it was massive solar flare that happened. That we haven't had one since. Now we're
Interesting.
so in the grid now. If one were to happen now, it would be just like
It'd be
calamity.
catastrophic. Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be, because I mean, electronic vehicles, everybody's got smart homes, everything is connected to the technology that we're using right now. So that's why for me, the drive to integrate technology and consciousness is a real big driving force or influence on that for me, to keep on trying to understand how to integrate the two so that it becomes something that doesn't debilitate us but disables us. Just because there's no technology doesn't mean that we're just dead in the water, kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's a feeling I get.
The,
So yeah, I think.
the Carrington event, that's what it was called.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll look that up
And
later.
it
I haven't.
happened it said September of 1859.
Oh, wow.
And the sun unleashed an eruption so powerful it sent electrical currents sweeping across Earth's surface, wiping out telegraph systems around the world with fires and mayhem.
Weird that historically that hasn't really been mentioned much before.
Yeah,
That's
people
cool.
saw Aurora Borealis as south as the Caribbean and Mexico, which is like insane because usually you only see that up in the north. But it created curtains of light. Dude, in my vision I said there's rainbow curtains. I said I see rainbow curtains. If you remember my prophecy, I said there's like a rainbow curtain that I saw everywhere, and it was like you could see, and it would open up like dimensions, like your ability to see into other dimensions. And that's probably what it is. That's what those rainbow curtains are. It's like the solar energy that's coming around the planet.
Wow.
This might happen soon, dude. Like this might happen soon.
I mean, I'm not gonna be
Vera,
surprised.
like, but the truth is like we're not going to be able to talk about it because if it happens, it's going to cut out our communication. We'll have to like tap into our telepathy and check in with each other and just.
I'm fully convinced that there's a certain level of communication that's going to have to develop outside of what we think we know or accept. So for all the people who are amplifying their frequency and signal, I fully believe there's going to be another form of communication. I don't think it's apparent to us right now. Telepathy is the first thing that comes to mind, but there's got to be some other way for us to connect, whatever that turns out to be once we get the galactic interfacing going on, because we're going to be connecting to them mentally as well.
I think that the solar flash is going to come and we're going to get a massive spiritual upgrade like immediately. Black smoke in us gets like washed out when this energy comes through. And then I feel like we get really hyper clear and ultra like psychic and we're super open. But it's the people who haven't been working on themselves, they're not going to experience that. If they're close to it, they probably will.
The thing is, we've been working with light for so long that that level of light probably won't even really phase us. It'll just be more, like you said, it's just more of an acceptance of that upgrade, versus people who've never worked with light are probably going to be blinded by it and like
Yeah.
not know how to deal with it. So I feel like I've been working with light. I mean, not forever, but I've worked with light so much that I feel
Yeah.
when I
Oh,
work
I
with
have no
light.
doubt. I have no doubt you're just going to be like, zing.
I know.
I mean, I imagine I will be too. It'll probably feel really good. It'll probably feel like this deep
Yeah, like
massage.
Jeff,
Like, oh, that
like
felt so good to get that off of me,
like we've been needing it for so long. We've been
Yeah.
waiting. I always get a bunch of moving light pulses all the time, every day. And so I know it's coming because the amount of light that's moving just from what I see is there's constant movement of light always. That's all in our field. It's active, super active. I don't see us having any problems when this happens, though it sounds scary, but I think
I mean, I hope the ETs really do come too. Like, wouldn't that be rad?
they're
Like,
already here.
no, but like really, really like physically
Oh, yeah, and it manifests in physical form. No,
yeah.
absolutely. And I mean, if we were told, it's not only so is it written, so it is, what is it? So it is spoken, right? So it shall be done. So I think that's really kind of where it goes because it has been expressed to us.
I hope this really happens. I hope
It's
it
pretty
really
darn
happens.
clear. I'm sorry. I tried to tap us into what I feel was a necessary communication, and this is what has come through. But I always say, hey, it's another perspective of truth. It's another set of data points. All we do is we cross-reference to the other data points that we receive, from various sources and channels, and from that cross-referencing, we make our own discernment of what is real and what's not.
I've seen this vision. That's what tripped me out about Vinny. I was like, dude, his was so exactly like mine that I was like, how is that even possible? Like, it was
Because
so similar to mine.
Because you're both receiving the same frequency and you're just both expressing it verbally, but oddly enough, you're both saying the same thing about the same frequency. So it's like,
to me, it's like, okay, that's when I was really like, it's one thing when I saw it and I believed it, but then when I met Vinny and he said the same thing on the
you
podcast.
confirmed it.
But by the way, like, he didn't tell me what he was going to say before he got on the podcast. Yeah, that was crazy to me.
He's really tapped into, so you're going to have a great reading with him. We give gratitude to the council, to the Galactic Collective that's come here to meet with us today. We send so much gratitude and appreciation for allowing us the channel, the stream of information that was shared with us today. And so with that, we pull back and exit. Well, hey, thank you so much again. Thank you.
No, you're so welcome. No, thank you. Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, Jude.
Okay.
Love and
Take
light to you
care.
always.